Stephanie, and I'm here today with a book haul. The library near me just had a library sale, which of course you know means I was there 30 minutes before it opened waiting in line. And then as soon as we got in, it was in this basement and it was sweaty. I was sweaty. I shouldn't say it was sweaty, but it was just like this humid environment. There was people everywhere. The aisles were not big enough, but let me tell you, worth it every time because I ended up getting 16 books for less than $20, which is incredible. Anyway, enough chit chat. Let's get to the books. So the first book I got was Isabel Allende's Maya's Notebook. Now, Isabel Allende, I am currently reading House of the Spirits, but she is an author. I own like 5 books by her, and I am reading my first one right now. I'm hoping that's going to change this year. But this is about a girl named Maya who's growing up in kind of a broken home in Berkeley, and she gets into trouble, and I think her grandmother sends her back to Chile to kind of live with her family, and she rediscovers her roots and learns about her family, and it just seems really interesting and like something I would totally be into, so I'll be checking this out. So last year I read my first Toni Morrison novel. I read Beloved, so I picked up A Mercy by Toni Morrison. I don't know a lot about it. It seems really short. I know this is more historical fiction taking place, I think, in the 1800s. I might be wrong, but dealing with slavery, and that's really all I know about this book. So I got this, and I also got Toni Morrison's first book, The Bluest Eye, which I've heard pretty good things about, and I'm really excited to read this. So I was really excited to find 2 Toni Morrison books at this book sale. So I got another author that everyone else loves, but I've never read anything by her. So I got The Secret Keeper by Kate Morton. I hear a lot of people talk about her, and I feel like for as much as I've heard people talk about her, I should know more about what her deal is. I want to say maybe she writes like gothic type stories, mysteries. I might just throw in stuff out there. Maybe none of it's right. But a lot of booktubers that I love them, some Kate Morton, so maybe I will too. I'm willing to give it a shot. I've heard there's like maybe like intergenerational family things. Maybe someone just lied to me to get me to read this. I don't know. We'll find out. Next book I picked up was Julie Otsuka's When the Emperor Was Divine. This is a novella, and it deals with Japanese internment camps, which is something that's not, I feel like, very popular in fiction. So I'll be really interested to read this. It seems like she was able to write like a very impactful story within a small book, which is something I always love reading, like short, impactful novels with a punch. I feel like when the weather gets warmer, I get a hankering for some whimsy in my life, and I'll watch like Chocolat like way too many times. So this was calling out to me. This is 5/4 of an Orange by Joanne Harris. I still have a Chocolat up here in my bookshelf somewhere. I do plan on reading that this summer, but I'm hoping like if I love that, I'll also have this to turn to next. So I got this so I would have some more Joanne Harris to turn to in the summer when I get a good hankering for some whimsy, you know what I'm saying? The next book I picked up was Gilead by Marilynne Robinson. This is one of those modern classics I have not gotten around to reading yet. And I feel like this is a book everyone has read, and maybe I'm the last person on earth who hasn't read it, so I'm hoping that's gonna change. Next up is Maria Semple's Where'd You Go, Bernadette? I have heard a lot of great things about this from Anne Bogle on her What Should I Read Next podcast, and just from a lot of people that I respect, saying that this is kind of a funny, well-written book, and warm weather is a perfect time for some funny fiction. The next book was a book I've already read, but I love the cover and I wanted my own copy. So this is The Dinner by Herman Koch. This is getting adapted into a movie, or the movie's getting released like later this month with like Richard Gere and Laura Linney. The book was pretty good. I hope the movie's just as good, but I needed this cover in my life. The next book I picked up was on Liz Schubert's recommendation. When I told her that I love novels that are kind of told in interconnected short stories, she recommended Olive Kitteridge by Elizabeth Strout. I know this book is pretty critically acclaimed, and I think all the short stories follow a woman named Olive Kitteridge, and she's kind of odd. That's really all I know. Also, there's an HBO series. The next book I picked up was The Tiger's Wife by Thea Obrecht. This is one I don't know too much about. I know it's about like a girl and her grandfather dies and she like looks through his old copy of the Jungle Book for clues. Maybe there's magic. I don't know. If you know and you've read this, let me know what to expect. Speaking of books that are classic and that everyone has read but me, I decided it's finally time to pick up Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. Especially because HBO is doing I don't know if it's a movie or a miniseries, starring Michael B. Jordan. I'm gonna be watching it, so I will have to read this book before watching me some Michael B. Jordan. I mean, some Fahrenheit 451. I also picked up a Carol Anshaw's Carry the One. So I picked up this book having really never heard of it. I just read the back and it seemed like a family drama among adult siblings, and that is like a plot siren call for me. So I'm hoping that this called out to me from the depths for a reason and that I will love it because I took a chance on this. I mean, it was only $1, so it's fine if I hate it, but let's hope that taking a chance works out once in a while. I also picked up Scott Hawkins' The Library at Mount Char. This I've seen classified as horror, but when I read the synopsis it sounds very kind of like fantasy-ish. And every time I read the synopsis, I don't even know where to explain it. It seemed really interesting and like I needed to read it though. So earlier this year I read Commonwealth and absolutely loved it. It was like 100% a Stephanie book and I decided I needed to read more Ann Patchett. So I picked up State of Wonder. I know a lot of people, like when they recommend Ann Patchett books, they either say like Bel Canto or State of Wonder. I saw this one at the library sale, so I picked it up and hoping that I'll find the kind of writing and connection that I felt with Commonwealth with this as well. And then I think probably one of the only real horror things I picked up was Nick Cutter's The Deep. I think with this I'll almost have read everything he's written because I've read Little Heaven, I just finished The Troop by him, and so this is The Deep. I usually try to go into his books pretty blind, so I don't know a whole lot of what it's about. I think there's like some secret scientific testing going on in a lab, and that's what I know. I know Christina DeVry really liked this book and it definitely made me want to go pick it up. And last but not least, I picked up Anna Quinlan's Miller's Valley. This was pitched to me as a family saga. I am always wary because I think family saga is a term people throw around a whole lot, and a lot of the times the books don't quite adhere to what I define as a family saga. But if this is just a family drama, I'll be happy with that as well. It sounded really interesting and I loved this cover, and like I said, it was $1, so of course I'm gonna pick it up. So let me know if you read any of these, what you thought about them. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!